Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Bikini Bottom Inquirer podcast.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to Bikini Bottom Inquirer, where we don't have any intro or nothing.
The joke was going to be I was going to do a perfectly standard podcast intro and then move on without making any jokes at all, but that is impossible for us to handle.
That is the ultimate joke.
That is the ultimate joke is just
Not
podcasting.
being a joke.
You guys make podcasts? Cringe.
SpongeBob, Johnny Bravo kicking by the beach bar, DJ making me feel like
That's so 2015.
Yeah, we're done with podcasts. We're exclusively doing Let's Plays going forward. This is a Let's Play channel.
That definitely not dying breed of content. Not at all.
Yeah.
Everyone, I would request that you be nice this episode, that you be kind, and you be loving and caring, because Ty just woke up from a nap, and he's not ready for this. He's not ready for what's about to happen to him. Request, you guys are always so mean in the comments. You guys are always so rough and so naughty and so...
I feel harassed.
So insulting. Yeah. I would request that you please go easy on him. I can take the blows. Your sticks and stones. I can manage it, but give Ty a break. Yeah, he needs it.
Yeah. After all, I am a has-been. Speaking of comments, Rugrats 1991 was messaging me on Discord earlier today. Fan, both. He was saying something. He was saying something about how he had come across at one point an archive. At first, he said he thought it was the original premiere of Interview with a Campfire. He said he was apparently mistaken and it was probably a rerun, but the music seems like it was always there.
I think also that it was probably always there.
And he said that he found a video that he thinks the source of what the people were saying may have been from, where it's like a version of the clip online that maybe is silent, but he said that there's even debate in the comments whether or not the person edited it or something. So
yeah, I think there's also another potential answer, which is that a few days ago we have some pretty cool speaker systems for the TV, but Danae connected her headphones, and that re-changed the configuration of the TV. So when she disconnected them, it went just to the TV speakers, which we haven't heard in ages and ages. And we didn't notice. We put on a YouTube video, and the entire time I was like, "And this video is you normally don't encounter videos with this kind of rough audio anymore, or anything." And it was just the guy talking. It was really crunchy and all that. About halfway through the video, I worked out what happened, and I fixed the speakers. And suddenly there was background music, and suddenly his voice was clear, wasn't as muffled, and all that. It could be a thing of people watching on older CRTs or something like that don't have really shitty speakers that just missed out on some of the frequencies and it sounded really rough, and they remember it as not having music as a
people have just lied to themselves, as we are
prone to do.
Yes,
Mr. Simpin.
Yeah.
I thought that was a knife for a second. It's a fire knife.
Do we have a knife?
Mr. Simpin.
Oh, I don't think I would.
How have you been this week? How are you?
It's been an interesting week. I've been doing a lot of reading.
The beard is gone.
What?
Beard is gone.
Yes. It was getting unkempt, and so I shaved it off last night.
Getting uncanny. I was literally sitting here waiting for you, and one of our shorts popped up on my YouTube feed of me without a beard, and there was a moment of just like, the good old days. I was like, wait, that was 2 months ago.
That's the thing, is it's weird how long we've been doing this for. It's kind of crazy to think about.
6 months now?
We've missed some weeks here and there, but we started in March or April. I don't remember.
5 months. Because we had a month of prep as well, so 6 months in total.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I feel like we had more than a month of prep, but yeah.
Well, we were chatting about the year before.
Right, we were
we were
talking
chatting about
about it.
December.
And then you were like, I gotta figure my crap out. I'll be back. And then I hear from you.
I got
a couple months
I got to
later.
move a building. That was, I'll be entirely honest. Sometimes you look back on a time and you're like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I remember, or oh, there's some good things I learned from that. I look back on that time as that was the worst time of my life. Just because I had to move a studio. So sorry, it was taking a while to get into the topic. We'll get there. But I had to move a studio that was huge. It was 2 stories, huge. Filled with 3 different podcast sets, 2 different offices, and all that. I had to move all of that out into a house that I wasn't renting yet, that my brother was still in, while also and cleaning and fixing everything, repainting everything to white, sanding back concrete, tearing up flooring, all that in like 3 weeks, while also moving our actual house once again into that house that we weren't renting yet, and cleaning up all of that all at the same time, while also magically having to make about 10 grand appear to help pay out the literally in I have no idea how I did it. In 2 months, I made $10,000 just appear.
Wish I could do that.
To pay for like the business, to like pay for its last like 2 months of rent, to pay for the house and all that. So it's like, even thinking about it now, it makes me unhappy. But
Yeah, it sounds like it would. But now, you don't have to worry about it. Now, all you have to do is sit at home and play Nicktoons Dice of Destiny on your
Nicktoons
computer.
Dice of Destiny. Yeah, it's pretty
Horrible
good.
transition.
It's pretty good. How have you been going with it? The new Nicktoons game, once in a generation experience.
Yes.
Quite literally, generations, 15 years.
I trying to log into an account here, and it's
Wait, a generation is 15 years, so this is actually the first in a generation experience, because it's been, the last game was like 2007 or something.
is that an official metric of time? I've never heard of anyone say that specific.
How long is a generation? It can also be so the fixed time span is 15 years to best study the social shifts, but it can also be considered 25 years. But we base things like the Gen Z, Gen Y, all that as 15 years.
Gen Alpha, Gen Beta. Freaking!
I cannot wait for the betas to emerge.
Well, they already have actually officially. Like the babies being born now are the betas.
God, poor bastards. What a time to be alive.
I texted you a couple of days ago. I don't remember. I said my expectations for this game have been subverted. And I didn't really expound upon that because I wanted to.
He's been the last Jedi'd.
What do you mean by that?
Your expectations have been subverted.
Well, like, okay, but
Ryan
like,
Johnson was right. sorry.
in a good way is what I mean. I've always been very skeptical of Game Mill from the beginning. I think you were as well. You were more positive about this going in, I feel like, than I was, though. I was expecting something that was bare bones, minimal effort, because a lot of their games, that's what they like. If you look at the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game they're putting out later this year, that looks horrible.
I think they just tried to do one of those a year, like the Kong game, just to generate publicity.
They're also doing this Charlie Brown Snoopy game that looks just as bad. And the Goosebumps game they're putting out looks okay. I think it's already out. I haven't picked it up, but it at least looked more interesting than the one they had. Than the first one they did was interesting, but the second one they did was like one of those games where you run away from a
Did
character
they do the point
chasing
and
you through a
click
house.
one?
They did a point and click one, yeah, and that
I think
one
I played
was,
the point and click one.
That one was good for what it was. I mean, it was very basic. I feel like Game Mill in general is hit and miss. And you've compared to them like you think they're the modern day THQ. We've talked about that, and it's like to a degree.
To a degree,
I would say maybe. I feel like THQ were a lot more consistent.
Standards are both higher and lower in modern day gaming than they were. There are higher highs and a lot lower lows, I think. But I think
is
the reason
Game
why
Mill
I'm
a publisher?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, I guess it also depends on who they're hiring, because THQ, they would outsource some of their work, and they would also have internal studios. So
I think the reason why I am often more open to these games and like interested and less like uncaring of them is because I do. And maybe this is a weird opinion considering the fan base we're in. I consider like 90% of the games that we do talk about to be shovelware. Of like the classic ones, the ones that we play as kids. And I don't love them any less for that. Sorry, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know that I ever thought of it like that. I mean, I was a kid, obviously. But it's like, you look at the THQ era, and then you look at, like, when I think shovelware, I think of, like, the Wii generation, which was just, like, the epitome of shovelware. So, I feel like Game Mill is somewhere in between all the stuff THQ put out through, like, the PS2, GameCube generation, and then all the crap that came out during the Wii generation.
Yeah. Well, like my mind often goes back to TAC. I'm not sure if you've played any of the TAC games. I play a little.
I never did.
A reasonable chunk. They are. People talk very fondly of them. They are complete and absolute trash. They are horrendous games. I played the first like 2 hours of the first two. So who knows? Maybe they got exorbitantly better and
of
more.
Avalanche software like that.
Did they make the new Hogwarts game?
Yeah, they made the Hogwarts game. They made Royal Ransom, Toy Story 3, the video game.
I rescind my comment. Moving on, the new game. You've been playing a bunch.
My expectations have been subverted in a positive way. I was expecting something that was bare bones, very minimal effort. I was expecting like all the interactions to be solely text based, because like they couldn't get voice, like even like the bare bones voice stuff for like their kart racers for the longest time or anything like that. And I go, and they reveal all the characters that they have, and they're all fine. But I was expecting just that, and then I go into this. And we should say, first of all, we will be talking spoilers for like the first third of the game, maybe.
Yeah, third of the game.
Something like that. So spoiler warning, just in case. Get out of here if you don't want to
Get out of here, nerds.
But don't actually.
We haven't gotten that far into the game. We don't have big spoilers, but
yeah. You start out the game. It has the whole story intro with. Like it plays out like an episode of Fairly Odd Parents at the beginning, and Timmy makes a wish to be in the game, basically of Dungeons and Dragons. Apparently, he was playing these campaigns with Cosmo and Wanda, and it's fully voice acted. And even when they get into it. Like just the little interactions with different NPC characters, also fully voice acted.
True, I hadn't really given them much credit for that. That is very true.
I had made some notes thinking like, I was wondering if they had maybe made certain choices of what characters to include based on voice talent, And then, like, as I got into it, I realized, no, that couldn't have been it, because they have so many more characters in this game than I ever would have expected, based on, like...
Can I just check out really quickly? We were so damn close. Carl is wearing a barbarian outfit.
Yeah.
Carl could have been the barbarian.
Carl's in this game. He could have been a playable character. And Rob Paulson, he's in the game multiple times because he voices multiple characters.
Does he voice that other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character?
Yeah, he's Donatello.
It freaked me out so much hearing that, because I've never actually heard any of them talk. And I was like, wait a bloody second.
So
the two shopkeepers are the same man.
They based the Turtles off of the original Nickelodeon TMNT show. So I appreciated it a little bit more because of that. Though that is one thing I was going to bring up. As I was playing through the game, I have a bunch of like sticky notes out here with just different thoughts that I had. As far as the voice acting goes, most of them, part of me wonders if these people just recorded all this from their homes based on...
I don't think there was any directing. This is some of the roughest voice acting I've ever heard these amazingly talented people perform.
I thought a lot of them were good. Some of the ones that sounded like very off, or like Cosmo didn't sound quite right. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, but he sounds like he's out of breath as he's trying to do Cosmo's voice.
And clearly there's no directing for the person that's voicing Wanda. Wanda will just be screaming something, and then Cosmo will respond, or like they don't respond accordingly to the other person's level of emotion. So it's like this, like, scream, normal reaction, scream, normal reaction. Like,
the one that I found the most off-putting, that like you could tell it sounded like he's like at the back of his coat closet at home recording these lines. But Seth Green really phoned it in as Leonardo.
Yeah. Seth Green and the voice actress for the character from Avatar, Kiara, whatever it is. It felt like both those were like, Katara were like, what?
Leo just had no emotion whatsoever. He was just like, yeah, I'm Leonardo. I'm gonna say this line.
But not like in a stoic way. It's just in like a...
He was too busy. He was too busy
crazy,
with Family Guy and Robot Chicken and whatever the heck else he's been doing. So, apparently he wasn't originally the voice of Leonardo, but the original guy got like canceled at one point during that run of the show. So he got fired.
I can't imagine what he had to do to get cancelled as the voice.
I don't know. Oh, well, apparently, the voice of Mikey, he's going through it right now because he's a Beast Boy on Teen Titans, and I guess I saw something about he was let go, from being Beast Boy.
No.
And he's like kind of a full-blown conspiracy nut online and just says some unhinged stuff. But he's still in this game, so.
Yep, right. I will say it was wonderful. The voice acting had some highs and lows. Hearing Rob back as Carl was an almost spiritual experience.
Well, I was just like, whoa, because we show up and there's the Crimson Chin. I was like, I was not expecting that. And then Pearl. And then, like, just more characters start showing up as you go. And I mean, we haven't even gotten further enough in the game. Who knows who else shows up? Like, Carl shows up, and I was like, oh, he's here. Like, Carl shows up before Jimmy does. And then, I remember saying, like, writing down a note, I was like, I wonder if they chose Susie as the character because, like, canonically, she's the one who can talk to other adults or whatever. But then Tommy shows up and asks you to get his bottle or whatever. So it's like, oh, no. They just wanted Susie, I guess. I don't know. So there's maybe there'll be other Rugrats. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far.
Maybe.
I've only seen Tommy, but
It would be cool if there's some form of an end game sequence. Once again, we're not that far into it, but like end game wise, if you do finish the game, but then unlock 2 or 3 new characters, so then you can go and do another run through everything with Carl or with like these other people that are already like they're modeled and they are carrying stuff. Like they have all that. But also like the other thing, though we'll get into more, but like all the armor and weapons that you equip doesn't affect the model or anything. So it's not like you need like there's these super sophisticated sprites or anything. But who knows?
And I will just say, like, you know, say what you will about Game Mill, say what you will about the game and the way they designed it. You know, it's the 2D, everything. The environments are nice. But like the original Nicktoons games, as far as my recollection, I never played Globs of Doom. I only played up through Toybots. Never brought this many actual like speaking roles together in one thing. Like this many like, and they're not like sound alike actors. They are the actual actors doing the voice roles, and that's just surprising to me, especially given Nickelodeon's history of not wanting to pay to have voice lines recorded.
Don't worry, guys. We got Clancy Purple here. He can do the voice just as well.
That is the one thing I noticed is that so far I've not seen any like Patrick or Mr. Krabs. And
No. They own Tom Kenny's soul. He can't get out. But everyone else, this is like, no, we're not going to do another one.
They include Pearl and Mrs. Puff because those ones, yeah.
I will say having 2 SpongeBob characters in the starting lineup is a bit interesting. I
wonder that too. I don't know why they chose to do that.
I really feel like Carl should have been the shoe-in for Sandy's position. Like he's already a barbarian and all that. Sandy would make way better as a shopkeep for the person that sells you equipment and all that. Maybe it could be like just a statistics thing of like, hey, if we don't have Sandy, we've got a team of like 90% guys. Like maybe that's more of the thing.
Well, they really tried to spread it out, I feel like, because they also have I haven't unlocked her yet, but they have Jenny, they have Sandy and Susie. So
you want to cover all the bases. And yeah. Sandy must be very popular considering they gave her a movie. Like she must be exorbitantly popular.
They also
but she must be. Plankton, I'm sure, is exorbitantly popular. I would say Plankton's probably a bit more popular than Sandy. Just for the sheer like meme factor. Sandy doesn't have any real memes.
But yeah, did you try to play any other characters as you went? I mean, you don't even unlock Jimmy Neutron until like
so I played as SpongeBob for the first big chunk of the game. I got a heap of equipment with him, got to like level equipment 30 or so with him, and then once I got Jimmy, I swapped over to Jimmy, and Jimmy at the moment is pretty rough. So simply just like I started off playing keyboard.
I did too.
Keyboard is impossible.
And that is one thing I was going to say is I started out with the keyboard because I didn't think, oh, I can plug in a controller. That was not something that crossed my brain at the time, and so I started out playing it, and it was fine, but keyboard and mouse has never been an intuitive way to play a game for me. It requires all of my brain power, and when I'm playing a game, I usually like to like put on a something in the background to keep my brain occupied, like a book or a show or something. I could not do that when I was playing keyboard and mouse because I had to focus on this button does this, this button does this, and it was I was having an okay time with it, but as soon as I plugged in the controller and realized, oh, it will all be mapped out.
Doesn't need to be this hard, yeah.
Took significantly less brain power, and I started enjoying the game a little bit more.
Well, the big issue with keyboard is that your attack is based on where the mouse cursor is, not which way the character is facing, which gives you this constant sense of vertigo of not knowing exactly where you're going to be hitting and having to pay way more attention to that. Whereas with controller, it's just where your character is facing is where you're going to slash.
I was having a lot of trouble with So I tried to experiment with some of the characters. I mostly played SpongeBob. I feel like he's kind of the all-arounder. Like anyone could play him.
I just couldn't bear the idea of hearing more of Timmy Turner's voice. So.
I tried Timmy for the... I didn't know that this was a boss level going into it, but...
Plankton's one?
The Plankton boss thing.
That was so... I did that on the hardest difficulty too. That was so hard.
I tried playing him as Timmy, and no. Timmy's not a very fun character to play. I will say that. I think part of the thing is just the magic-based characters are... You really need to be... Like, the ranged characters. You really need to be, like, taking a step back, and... That was not how I had been playing. I had been playing with
It'd be fun as a
SpongeBob
duo. It'd be fun as a duo, yeah.
But
I would say we should play the rest of the game together. But that was the other issue that I encountered. I will say 50% of my issue I had with controller is because I am like 10 hours into playing Hogwarts Legacy on Switch. And so I'm really used to Nintendo's button placement. And then I've been playing this with an Xbox controller, and so my button placement in my mind is just all over the place. So I'm missing button presses and activating the wrong thing because I think that A is the equivalent of A on the Nintendo's one, which is over here.
And that's been at least a good thing. So I plugged in a PS5 controller, which is not like they don't map it to PS5 buttons. They are like, this isn't compatible, but you'll still use it, but it's gonna show the Xbox buttons. But the good thing is in my brain I know, okay, this. So like when you're using the different powers, wherever you place them on the little thing, you know what I'm talking about, when you unlock extra powers and you can map them to a button, the top one is the top button. So triangle, I don't know what it is on Xbox, or the left one is the left button. So square, and so it's like I haven't had any trouble, even though the buttons are not what my buttons are, just because it's very intuitive the way that it's mapped out. So I haven't had any problems. How have you felt? I mean, I'd probably know how you feel. Before we went into this, you were very anti Ninja Turtles. The people who wanted Donatello to be playable, you were like, they don't deserve skin. I feel like
before that, I said they should jump off a cliff. Next was they didn't deserve skin.
As I've gotten into it, I don't know, it all meshes together really well. Nothing feels out of place.
I think at the moment the biggest issue for me is their voice acting. All the voices of the turtles irritate me as much as Timmy Turner does. So now that I'm in the sewers and I'm having to go and help them make pizza and stuff like that, I just did the pizza out of my fucking face. I want to cut your face off.
I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It feels right somehow. Which I think
I think I'm starting to develop weird sensory things. I think I'm starting to develop. I was fine with Timmy Turner in Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. His voice, I hate it. I don't know. Really.
I did notice, like,
I'm getting old. I'm turning into that guy. Get off my fucking lawn.
Characters who haven't really done their voices in years, like Jimmy Neutron, just some of the characters sound just a little bit off, and I think it's just because they haven't been doing it in so long.
I think it's also a small aspect of the fact that because they haven't been doing it for so long, I've followed the voice actors as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm in this weird thing of when I hear Carl, he sounds just about right. He does sound, it's clearly an older person now saying it, but I hear Rob. I don't hear Carl as much as I hear it.
The way he was
same
doing
with Jimmy
it too.
I hear Debbie now. I don't hear Jimmy when I hear that voice.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's also like with Cosmo. You know, it's like they're doing the version of the voice that they do at conventions when people ask them to do the voice. They're not, like, they haven't really appeared, they haven't done it professionally on a show for so long, you know, and I think part of it is that they kind of forget how it sounded in the first place. But also they do just get older. That's been the thing with SpongeBob. I've been surprised, like, SpongeBob doesn't really sound as off in this game to me as he does in the Purple Lamp games.
No, he sounds
a lot more like SpongeBob in this game. Whereas for some reason in the Purple Lamp games, there are just these moments where it's like, that's not SpongeBob.
He's a lot more toned back. Like, he's a lot less intense in this one. I think maybe it's because there's so many characters, and they've probably been given, if they've been given any direction, they've probably been given the direction of, don't try to be a show stealer, just try to be your character.
Yeah.
Rather than everyone screaming and trying to be intense and be like the main person. So he's very toned back, which I like.
And that is one thing, is like, not any one character. They all share the limelight. I wouldn't say any one character is the character, whereas like you know, Globs of Doom, that was technically a SpongeBob
game. Yeah. Well, let's chat a little bit about gameplay, because I think that's been the thing. So while we were waiting to get started, I googled the game on YouTube, and most people hate this game. Just about every review is very negative and telling people that they wasted their money and don't buy the game. I wasted my money, so you don't have to, like, all that type of stuff. I will start this off by saying,
do you think some of that
Sorry, yep.
No, you go first.
$60 Australian for a 6-hour game of this quality, you are pushing it a little bit. $40, I'm very comfortable with that. I'm very happy with that Australian. $60, it's a bit much, especially when there's a summer, the autumn sale happening on Steam, and like everything is $10, and then I'm buying a $60.
Literally, I was on Steam the day the sale went up, and I wanted to get PC Building Simulator and to practice, and it was like $20, and I was like, man, I can't afford that right now. And then like I walk away for like an hour, and then I come back, and all of a sudden the sale has started, and the game is like $5, and I was like, oh, okay.
I bought Crime Simulator for me and BJ and another friend of ours to play together, because it's basically Lethal Company, but instead of like, but it's basically you just are dropped in a neighborhood, and you're going up to people's houses and cutting their windows out with glass cutters and going in and stealing stuff.
Oh, Thief Simulator?
It's called Crime Simulator.
Okay, there's another one. There's another one like that called Thief Simulator that I've played it flat on Switch and also in VR on my MetaQuest. So, same kind of deal. Do you think that the negative perception is also just that typical skewed by the people who look at a SpongeBob game or a Nickelodeon licensed title and are just like not even really that willing to give it a chance in the first place?
I think it's two things. I think, like, if you look at the actual Steam page, there's 11 reviews. I had a look at Steam game charts because I was like to see how it was doing, and there were 40 people playing, and that was their peak. It was 45 people playing. I was like, ooh. But it's got like 11 reviews. They're positive. People are happy with them. Like, people are happy enough. I think it's a mixture of just the standard rage bait that is now the internet. Like, there is no point to make a video on something if it isn't either the worst thing in the world or the best thing in the world. There is no place in the world for, it is what it is. It's a good kids game. No one cares. There's no point. You have to be rage bait. You have to do something like that. I think that's a big aspect. But also, it's like, what itches my brain is, what do you expect? And it's this thing, like, this is going to get slightly out of place, but because I am a man, I get recommended on my YouTube page all of these shithead people that are like the intense, the movie reviewers that are like super political focused and super anti everything modern and like super anti anything with like women characters in it, and they're like, oh, if only they were like these women characters. Like, if only she was like Ripley in the Alien movies, she'd be so much better. This. And like, I listened to their points, and I'm like, if Aliens came out now, you would hate it.
Yeah.
Because that character is everything you hate, but just because it happened before and you watched it when you were younger, you love it. But literally everything you complain about, there is no good version of what you are actually wanting. There is no version that you would be happy with. And any version that you use as an example is just because it happened in the past and you liked it back then. And now you have this new opinion and nothing can work with it. These games are very much the same. If you get into that mindset, and if you get into that mindset about video games as a whole and modern video games, you will never be able... Like, the old Nicktoon games are hot trash. Awful, unplayable games. They're also a lot of fun if you go into it with some, the right expectation and go into it with maybe a bit of nostalgia or just the desire to play something quite simple that has all those old voice actors in it and some good comedy and some fun level design. It's a good time. And so is this one, but you can go into it and find the worst game imaginable if you're intending to.
I feel like my expectations were very low going in. So like when I went in, I was like, oh, this feels like I remember playing like these not super high quality PC games growing up on like Big Fish. I don't know if Australia ever had Big Fish games.
Isn't that the movie with Ewan McGregor?
I don't know. There was a company called Big Fish that would make PC games, and they did 2 SpongeBob games called Obstacle Odyssey that I thought were kind of like a fever dream, but then I rediscovered them recently. They're very basic platformers, and it kind of, like, this game gives me the vibe of like one of those like budget PC games that I played growing up.
What the hell is that?
But like in a good way. Look up SpongeBob
The Obstacle Odyssey.
Yeah. I've thought about making a video about this. I actually have art done for a thumbnail.
Dude, I played this as well. I played this as well.
Yeah. And I'd like, it was always like, I remember this really weird PC 3D platformer. What was that? And then like randomly I started like doing Googling, and I like finally came across it. And I was like, I gotta do a video about that. But it's such a basic game. There's maybe I could do like history of Big Fish or something. I don't know, but
dude, I think there's untapped gold in making a series of a big video about the Nickelodeon games site, like the Nickelodeon website and all their games.
Yeah, and I was gonna do that.
How did they churn out endless things?
Christmas last year. I was gonna do a Flash game video, but I didn't.
We need to decide what we're gonna do for Christmas. What, like, we're gonna do like a big video or something?
Yeah, we should talk about it. I mean, we also have all the stuff to do with like Titans of the Tide that we also have to figure out.
Oh yeah,
all
that
stuff.
Oh,
it felt like this game kind of felt very Y2K, like early 2000s. I felt like in a good way. It kind of brought me back to my childhood playing that original Nicktoons game. Where it's like, it's not great, but if you know what to expect going into it, I was actually very pleasantly surprised. I thought the environments were surprisingly well done. The little like Easter eggs in the Bikini Bottom Shire, like the statue of Patrick as like Thor. He has like Thor's hammer. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't know. I noticed the Squidward one.
There was a Squidward statue as well. I don't remember if he looked like he was, but like
he was a king. He was a king.
Okay.
He had like
at one point later, like at the end of like because the Bikini Bottom area is like 2 different areas. I don't know if that keeps going into the rest of the game, but it takes up the large.
I don't want 2 Teenage
Mutant
Ninja Turtles levels.
Yeah, and I don't know that it would, because like I don't feel like I'm very far in the game. It already says like 30-something% completion.
Yeah, I'm confused as well. The sewers is like, once you get the sewers, you've unlocked like a third of the map, but it tells me I've got like 45% of the game done.
Yeah.
Like, how quickly do I get?
I was expecting like a section for each playable character, but maybe not. And that's the other thing too, is I've been wondering, like, they included Jenny as a playable character. Are there gonna be other My Life as a Teenage Robot characters that show up? Because that feels like an obscure cartoon in general. So I like the voice actors. It's like that feels like one of the harder ones to get people back for. I don't.
When are we going to see As Told by Ginger? When's Ginger going to come?
Why wasn't Ginger playable?
Why wasn't Ginger here?
It brought me back to my childhood. I remember texting you and saying it's kind of frustrating to see all these YouTubers. Like, I don't know if you know who Arlo is. He's like a Nintendo YouTuber. He's a puppet.
Yes,
like a blue puppet.
Yes.
Yes. He did a video on this game, and I was like, just because probably they sent him a code. I don't think I actually watched the video yet, because I didn't want to watch other people's videos on it. I wanted to just go in blind. But it's just kind of frustrating that, first of all, nobody else in our space is talking about this game. I don't think anyone who's more Nickelodeon focused was sent any kind of code. They only sent review copies to bigger YouTubers that realistically aren't probably going to give them very positive reviews because they're not in the Nickelodeon space.
You're right. I don't actually know anyone within the SpongeBob community circle that got a game review or got anything.
Yeah, and I don't know if they even tried, but I've only seen like YouTubers that, like Arlo is like, I've never seen that man. He talks about Muppets and Nintendo. I've never seen that man talk about Nickelodeon, but they apparently wanted him to review it. IGN, I haven't seen very many people talking about this game in general, so it's been interesting. It's just frustrating that I think they would have been much better off going with smaller creators, with more dedicated followings that are more familiar with the source material. But that's
Absolutely.
My biased opinion.
No, I definitely think so. I think there's almost no place for the alternative. To a point. Like, it clearly hasn't worked for them. It clearly hasn't worked.
They've missed the mark. But so apparently, you said people's opinions have been mostly negative.
Just basing off the thumbnails and titles. Once again, we're dealing with cringe, overly intensive reviews that
slop.
Very little. We're dealing with slop.
I mean, I haven't finished the game yet. I would like, so I don't want to like pass full judgment on it, but like, again, if you go into it with your expectations in check, I think you'll have a good time. I remember we asked the Discord, or I asked the Discord, like, how were they feeling about this game? And I don't think either of the people in there were interested. They didn't think it really looked like a game for them. And like, I didn't love the art style or anything. That, like, they could have done 3D models, but it doesn't clash as much as I thought it was going to with the 2D, the flat sprite characters against the 3D backgrounds.
No, and I think, it shows a level of care to want to do it in 2D. Absolutely, and I appreciate that. So I think, for me, gameplay-wise, it's pretty fun. So I've played a few hundred hours of Minecraft Dungeons, so that's my experience with this type of world, at least.
I lost track of what we were talking about exactly, but yes, gameplay. I mean, it's realistically, it's kind of mindless. Like, it's a lot of, like, when I was using the keyboard and mouse, it was a lot of clicking. and with the controller, it's very button mashy, but like, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes I just want something that's like not super, like, that's not to say it doesn't take some thought. You talked about the plankton boss being very hard. I didn't even know you could change the difficulty until like a couple hours in. And I played it on the most basic difficulty, and I struggled against that first boss fight.
I just instinctively
badly.
with those games, because I'm like, I get 2% better loot. I'm going with the hardest difficulty. I'm just going to slog through this for an hour.
I remember I
I'm
was
just going
like,
to suffer.
this game is like Dark Souls, like fighting that plankton
dude.
boss initially.
No, but the plankton boss, those trial things with when the lasers are going, I'm like, what am I doing? What's happened to my life?
There
I
was
love the
only
dice
one of
roll
those
mechanic
that
for when for loot as well with those. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
That was I only struggled against that after I started trying to play Sandy and hadn't equipped a better hammer than the default one, which only has like 5 attack, and then I got one that had 40 attack, and then I had no trouble. But I really like the melee characters. I mean, not Donatello.
Yeah.
Leonardo's okay, but Sandy and SpongeBob have been the main ones that I've had an easier time with.
Yep. I will say Jimmy Neutron is rough, but I shall persist. I shall persist with
I
him.
messed around with Susie as well. She's a very ranged. She's a very ranged. She's a ranged character.
It's Donatello.
How do you feel about Nicktoons Dice of Destiny, Jerry?
Jerry.
He wants down. He doesn't like this.
What's the deal with Dice of Destiny?
My cousin and his wife, he is upset with me now that I picked him up. Named him
enemy of the show.
after Tom and Jerry, but forgot which one was which. But now my cousin's also a pretty big fan of Jerry Seinfeld, so I just pretend like that was the real reason.
That can be our new slogan. You know, you got friends of the show and then enemy of the show. You got Mr. Jephthah, friend of the show.
Gladly, enemy of the show. Villain of the show.
Who were we just talking about? Ario, the Muppet, arch enemy of the show.
Arlo. I like
Arlo.
Arlo, but I'm like, you wanted him to review the game?
Sorry, no, IGN, arch enemy of the show.
Yeah.
We can stick with that. Yeah.
So I was going to say, my favorite Pokemon spin-off game that I've played, and that I wish they would do one for Switch, but they never have.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Pokemon Rumble World.
Thank you, Jerry. I disagree as well. Pokemon.
The reason I bring it up is it's a very mindless game. It's kind of shallow in its combat, but it's just kind of addictive to me.
That's fun.
The gameplay of this and that are very similar. Like, very similar.
Yeah, like I very rarely open up Cosmic Shake to just play a level, but I can absolutely see myself, I've got a video that's exporting, it's going to take 40 minutes, I can't close down my computer, I'll play a level of Dice of Destiny while I wait.
And it's not like the same gameplay loop as like the Pokemon thing, because the Pokemon thing, you're collecting like however many hundreds of Pokemon, so there's kind of a lot more of a gameplay loop there, whereas this one, you're just doing quests, like there's a story there. And that's one thing, I don't know if they've kind of hinted at, like, there's this overarching villain that's like having all these other villains work for him, like the Flame Fatales show up, and they say something about Azula was like hired to be in charge of this group or whatever. So like there's someone that's like, I don't know if it's like Cosmo at the beginning said something about how he got this dice from a wizard or whatever. Who do you think like the main villain of all of this is? Because that's something I've been trying to figure out.
Maybe one of like the bigger villains from Danny Phantom?
My initial thought, I thought maybe Danny Phantom, like maybe Vlad, but because like Timmy Turner, like even though there's not really any one central protagonist, I feel like Timmy Turner's kind of like the crux of the plot. I was wondering if maybe like Crocker is in charge, or even like Vicky.
Oh yeah.
Vicky are like the main villains or something. I don't know if they're.
Well, there's also the cover art has that dragon on it, doesn't it? Maybe the dragon
does
is
have
like
a
this
dragon.
ancient wizard or something like that.
Yeah,
'Cause
maybe
otherwise
it's just an
they're not.
original
It could be a new
character.
character.
Yeah, that's possible. I want to see the crab from Volcano Island come.
The old guy. I want to see the giant glue monster. I will say, as you were saying, I thought it was very funny. So when I played Minecraft Dungeons for the first time, I just have this very vivid memory of it was when I was listening through It for the first time, Stephen King's It. So I just have this memory of some of the levels, of playing the levels, and whenever I play them again, I can hear the part of the chapter I was up to at the different stages for those levels. This one, I've been recording the gameplay just to have a record of, just for future reviews and all that stuff.
I figured you probably would.
None of the audio is going to be usable because I am listening to Australian political podcasts. What's going on? So they're talking about taxation laws and government debt and all that stuff. I'm just like, very interesting, very interesting. Oh, Timmy got the next dice. Very interesting. Oh, and Anthony Albanese has put forward a new bill on this. I'm just like, the duality of man.
I've been listening to I guess it's a self-help book while I play.
Really?
I'm working on myself, you guys.
I bounce between that and like a random Jordan Peterson video or a Jordan Shanks self-help thing where it's just like, you need to be defining your life and your time better. I'm like, absolutely, as I'm playing this.
I'm trying to learn how to freaking love myself.
Love myself. Oh my God. Me time. Me and Dice of Destiny.
He bit
The
me.
one you're talking about this anymore. I will say my biggest issue with the game, and I understand it, it is a kid's game that doesn't need to be that advanced, but the loot is entirely purposeless. They could instead just have it be a level. No. Oh, I'm level 8. My defense has gone up by 3. It serves the exact same purpose as the loot, because the loot does not change the character, it doesn't change my appearance, it doesn't change the weapon I'm holding, it serves
I think
no
a lot
purpose.
more games are like that than you think they are, but yeah.
It serves but the games that you're comparing, it's direct comparators. That's Minecraft Dungeons. You get a new piece of equipment, you put it on, and you look different, and so you develop a style based around that. And then you find something new. You're like, oh, I need to break up the look I was going for. I can no longer go the wolf look. I've now got the wizard look.
I think a lot of
That's it.
like looter shooters, it's that kind of stuff. Would you stop? Like a looter shooter is the same kind of idea where it's like you're just looking for better stats when it's realistically the same exact weapon.
But with Destiny, it's then it usually has a different styling of the gun or a different type of cloak or something along those lines, or it shines a little bit or has a different color.
Sometimes, but not always. I've played games where
I haven't played Destiny in a long time, so I'm not sure. But I don't. Borderlands. I think
that is one of the things as I was looking at some of those mechanics, because there's also the potion mechanic. There's the armor and the weapons, and I was like, realistically, this is very shallow, but for what it is, it's actually a lot more thought out than I would have expected, to be honest.
I wouldn't consider it shallow just because there are so many abilities for each character, and there are so many characters, and the abilities are so different. Like Jimmy has 4 different turrets, and one of the abilities is really cool. You can chuck all of the turrets down instantly, and it's a 60-second timer. It just chucks all of them down, so it's like there's just being boom. Or you can have them be individual trigger buttons. Stuff like that is really clever.
I had an interesting time playing as Susie, where her abilities were interesting. You can throw down Legos to slow characters down.
That's cool.
You can throw down a jack-in-the-box that attacks enemies around it. But her main attack, I thought she would be a healer. She's not really a healer. She throws out fireballs. What else does she? Oh, she does have a healing power as well, so she can be a healer. But she's a surprisingly I also after she gets added to the party, she actually this child is talking to all these other warrior characters or whatever, and I just think that's interesting that they included Rugrats. Also, can we just talk Angelica's boss fight? The when I saw the Cynthia spider, I was like, this is incredible. 10 out of 10. Like, and just like they know what they're doing too, because like they when she hops on the spider and then Cynthia just roars like a rabid creature, and then the boss fight begins. It's like ridiculous. And I was telling my sisters, I told one of my sisters about it, and she just starts singing the song.
Cynthia,
yeah.
birthday,
and then
Cynthia,
I tell my other sister, she also just starts singing the song. Like, these are all separate events. And then I tell my mom about it. She also starts singing the song. And realistically, when I first saw the Cynthia spider, I was kind of thinking about the song in the back of my head.
Really? I didn't put that connection together. I was just like, oh, that's an interesting angle to go with that.
I was like, this is amazing. Like, just going full D&D with it, but with Rugrats characters, which it's kind of weird that the Rugrats are even here, because it's like, at least with all these other characters, they're kind of like from fantastical worlds or stories, and the Rugrats are just children living their lives.
It's almost like
but they're here.
If only there was ones where they were older and more capable of being able to be involved in the story more drastically. If only it was,
but they're not.
A show.
They're not as popular in
where they had. It was the biggest episode in the world.
That's true. I think the wizard actually. It's not Crocker or Vicky.
Sorry, no, it's like
it's Seema Zargami.
No. That'd be such a funny bit. You're like, it's, you know what? That's true. Doesn't change anything. Rather than the spider Cynthia, it's Simmer's head on the spider. No, that's Simmer. No. All the characters are like, no, the Antichrist. It's her.
There's one, like, I guess ouch! Get out of here! You won't leave me alone.
Muffin is so hyper today. As well.
He jumped up and scratched me. It's like the one time I leave my door open while we record, and he's like, get the fuck off of the podcast. Pay attention to me. Gameplay wise, one thing I noticed, I had my volume turned down fairly low. There's this one part in the Bikini Bottom Shire forest, I think. There's these little golden gates that you destroy. I think they're made out of like bamboo or something to progress forward. And every time I smacked one, it made this extremely loud, shrill sound, even with my volume turned down fairly low. Like, it's like this little chime thing, like I don't know if it's like a checkpoint or something, but it was so loud, and I would be frightened to hear what it sounds like if my volume was turned all the way up. Because it was already blowing my eardrums out. So there's some issues with the game mechanically that probably need to be patched. One thing is, I sent you a clip where I was playing as Susie and I had dodge rolled.
Everyone's seen that clip now.
I dodge rolled behind a well. I don't know if there was a enemy back there or if I was collecting something. I don't remember how I got back there or why I got back there, but then I couldn't get back out. I soft locked the game. I had to restart the level just because
There's been a few
let
bits
me
like
get
that.
behind the well. And there are like areas where it's like, I don't know if it's randomly generated. I don't think it is, but they need to work on their placement of items because it's very clunky and you can get stuck.
There's been a few bits where I've had to like squeeze around things to get to where 3 enemies are standing and there's some gold waiting for me. So clearly I'm supposed to go there and I kill them. But as I'm squeezing in, there is that moment of panic of like, am I going to be able to get out of here? Because I don't trust this game that much. Yeah. Other than that, the gear is my big issue. The gear is my big issue. There's the occasional like obvious bit of like quality issue. A lot of the writing, like the subtitles will come up at the bottom, but the voice actors are saying something more or less completely different. Like they've ad-libbed it, and it's different to the script. That. There's also been parts where, like, when they first go to the tangle, and like it does like the pan around, and there's no one there, and then Timmy is like, "Wow, there's so many people here. Wow, this is crazy."
I don't remember that.
And it was like, "Wow, it's so good to see everyone."
So overall,
the chin wasn't even there yet. It was literally empty.
I don't even remember, but yeah, they're a weird game. I don't know. I'm gonna follow the meme and go back to Kingdom Hearts. In Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, in the Olympus world, they're supposed to be in this coliseum full of people that are watching them battle, and you hear the voice, like the voice clips of like people cheering, like a crowd roaring, and then, but Kingdom Hearts is a very empty feeling game. There's just nobody. It's just an empty arena, but there's supposed to be people watching you. And it feels ridiculous.
It's like playing the FIFA games, and you can like 100% tell. Like I played the old ones on the original Xbox, and you can just see like the cardboard that is the people, just like.
Yeah, I have that. Like, there's a VR NFL game that's like that, where it's like the crowd is just like blurry PNGs of maybe people ? Overall, I before we went into this, like the last time we talked about the game, I talked about being more of like a 6 as far as like my hype level. Going into it, I mean, like, as it is right now, I'd probably rate the game like an 8. Like, okay. So far, I mean, I still have to finish the game, but
yeah,
I'm
enjoying my time
pleasantly
with it,
surprised with what it has been. I didn't expect all these characters or anything. I just expected something very basic, and it has not. I mean, it's basic, but it's a lot more than I thought.
Having all the extra characters and having people like Carl and stuff like that sets it above all the other Nicktoons games in a pretty major way. And maybe it's just a withdrawal thing of just like, oh, we haven't seen these characters in so long, so it's a lot more special now.
Well, that's the other thing.
I would consider it like a solid 7. Solid 7.
I was gonna say maybe 7, but I feel like an 8 right now. That's the other thing I was gonna bring up too, though, was like Toybots tried to kind of branch out with how many franchises it included, like as like playable characters, but none of them had voice acting or anything.
That's and for Game Mill and modern Nickelodeon, that's insane.
Like I think Tak might have been in Toybots, but he didn't talk. I think Jenny was in Toybots, but he didn't talk. There was some stuff with like other characters that weren't playable, but you could like collect them, like Rocco and other like older Nicktoons like that. But like story-wise, it was just the typical characters. So I feel like it kind of outdoes all those old games because it's actually like bringing them together story-wise more so than those old games did. So it's a cool experience, and the Dungeons and Dragons setting is more of a thing than I expected. Like the fact that you battle Angelica on a giant Cynthia spider. That's the only that can happen in like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. So for people who are fans of this channel, I would definitely recommend it. If you're watching this channel, it is good enough to give it a go. Especially in America where it's like $40 or something like that. I would give it a go. Maybe not.
Like, I think it was like, how much did you pay for it?
I paid $63.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe it. Chester, let's give credit where credit is due. I'm poor and out of a job right now. Chester bought this game for me, you guys. He's such a good friend, you guys.
It stung a little bit on the second time because I was like, yeah, this game's good. It's not $63 good. But I bought it the second time.
Jeez,
I was like,
this is $45 on Steam?
Yeah. It's a bit much.
I thought it would be like a $20 game.
$20, I would recommend everyone buy it. At its current price, it is a little bit steep. I would like for people to buy it, to support it, but also I wouldn't support that price tag.
I feel like $30
Yeah.
at most. I don't know. It's a good game. It's got a lot more substance to it than I thought, but that's still a lot for what it is. I don't know.
It's also an extra like $13 for the deluxe edition that comes with the costumes.
Right, and that's one thing I don't even want to bother with that, because I just don't, even the costumes that they have, I don't care. Sorry, Game Mill, they're not interesting.
Wait,
to
no,
me.
sorry, I tell a lie. It is $22 to get the Wonder Pack, which includes the Wardrobe Wonder Pack. It's just costumes.
Don't buy the wardrobe, you guys. It's pointless. It's just an aesthetic thing. No one cares.
No one cares about the aesthetic. Just play as Jim Neutron. You'll be happy.
But yeah, maybe wait for a sale. Inevitably, it's going to go on sale. I mean, remember you bought their racing game at full price, and then I bought it for like $5. And even
why do I keep doing this?
I didn't.
Why am I a SpongeBob YouTuber?
We're Nickelodeon YouTubers.
Yeah, they don't fucking send us any copies.
Exactly.
We've done 6 months of free advertising for them, you know.
I feel like we're like one of the channels that's talked about it the most. But no.
Positively, you know. We're not like the cringe merch. Anyway, I would recommend it. I would absolutely recommend it. If you can catch it on sale, pick it up. Consider it. It's a 6-7 hour game. That price, that's a bit steep, especially during the autumn sale on Steam. You know, around Christmas time, I'm sure it'll go like 50% off.
Right. It's like a Ubisoft game. You know, inevitably it's going to be like $20.
And Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 2 at $20 or $10, that's a good deal.
They're remaking Black Flag. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
They're remaking Black Flag and
I only
taking
played
out all
2
the
in
modern day
Brotherhood.
stuff.
They're taking out all the fun stuff.
Black Flag is probably the best game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Probably the best.
I played Rogue instead. Yeah, like an idiot.
No, Rogue is like kind of like, it was released right around that same time, so they're very similar games. I like Rogue a lot, actually. I might like Rogue more than 4, but it's like a more mini game. Like, it's only like half a campaign.
Well, that's why I liked it, because they can sprawl a little bit. Brotherhood took me a while. Anyway, I still haven't played 3 either. Although it interests me the most, but just the idea of getting through that first segment and actually getting to play the main character kills me. 10 hours as the other guy is a bit much.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed and because they go in the Animus and DNA and whatever in their ancestors, have you ever thought about doing like a DNA test? Do you know where your family comes from?
Fairly good idea about it. So my dad is predominantly Irish, and my mother-in-law is quite the family tree buff. So she's traced our family line back 8 generations or something. We've lived in this area of Australia for 6 generations. My dad's side is mostly Irish. My mum's side is Sicilian.
Cause I've been doing a lot of that recently, and I was just gonna say I got my DNA test results back, and I am 47%.
White.
Just no, I'm like 100% white, pretty much, but 47% English,
Asian,
and Northwestern Europe, 13% German or Germanic Europe. 10% Central and Eastern Europe, which is like Ukraine, Poland, that kind of thing. 10% Scottish, 7% Irish, 5% Cornwallian, wherever the frick that is.
That's where the cornbread comes from.
3% Wales, which I didn't realize was originally like its own thing.
Yeah, fuck you, Wales.
Wales is just like this. I always hear people in the UK talking about oh, I'm just going over to Wales or whatever. I didn't realize that was a country. I thought it was just like a state here, that kind of thing. 2%. I am 2% Ashkenazi Jew, so I'm 2% Jewish. But Ashkenazi Jew is just basically
I'll slow down with the Jerry Seinfeld jokes. Whoa, I'm sorry.
Ashkenazi is just basically like Jews who lived in Europe. So like, I already knew that I probably had that DNA based on like how I traced back the family tree, and
any Dutch?
the ones that I knew they were probably
Dutch?
like German. I mean Dutch could be in there. It's
Just the
not
haircut, like
super-
the hair combined with the skin color, like the very pale like brown.
I think that could come from like the Central and Eastern Europe. I think I don't know. Well, no, I
How
don't
tall are
really
you?
have Denmark. So I'm like between 5'10" and 5'11", so it's like 6'4". No, I'm also
the measurement is vast. I am vastly tall.
I'm 2% French apparently, and 1% Spain, like Spanish. So that was the 1% that surprised me. I wouldn't have expected anything from Spain, but it's also kind of just right in that area. A lot of the people in Spain are probably like white. So I'm 100% white, you guys.
Yeah, wowzers, very good. We now know everything about who has what normal.
Who needs normal, you know?
Who needs
Who
normal?
needs it?
Who even needs it? Well, I think that's the end of the discussion on the game. So you said you had an interesting week.
So I've been doing, I said I did a lot of reading. I've been reading some books that have been helping me work through some mental health crap that I mean, realistically, I've been dealing with for decades. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just learning some stuff about myself. If I can be real here for a second, I've hated myself for the longest time. And I think that a lot of my anxiety comes from that. And like my fear of what other people think of me. My procrastination and with like the videos and stuff. I've been so stressed out about like getting stuff done on time and disappointing people who are watching and whatever. Or even like with you, it's like he's gonna be mad at me if I don't do this right, or if I have to postpone a recording session or whatever. It's like when I've talked to like people like the Big Sky devs or whatever, it's like I'll send out an email, and when I get something back, I'm terrified to read it. And I have to work myself up to actually like read it. I'm a mess. And I've just kind of been learning more about like why that is and finding ways to cope with it. So I read a book. Do you know who Zachary Levi is?
I know the name.
He's an actor.
Wait, isn't that the actor? Yeah, the guy who plays Shazam.
Yeah, he wrote a book, and basically he describes his mental health journey, and everything he described, not everything, it's like not necessarily one-to-one, but very close to like my life experience, like the stuff, the struggles that I've gone through. And so just kind of hearing him talk it out and how he figured it out, that was helpful. My dad left years ago, and I've hated him for it. But I've kind of realized the more I hate him, the more I hate myself, because we have the same face, basically, and we share the same DNA. I am his son, so it's like no wonder I have such a problem with myself, because I have such a problem with him. So I reached out to him the other day, and we've talked a little bit. So I'm trying to maybe, things between us will never be what they were when I was a child, but I'm just trying to like salvage something there and just figure that out, which has already helped a little bit. It's a little bit stressful, but I went to church for the first time in 2 years today.
Which denomination?
we talked about it. It's like
It's one I like, or well, yeah,
it's like non-denominational or like
it's better than nothing.
like close to Baptist, but not like tied. Like the church used to be like a Baptist church, but then now they're just like a Bible church is what they call it. Basically, it's just
So weird because Baptists already are very individual. They're very they have their own creeds and their own ideas and everything. Like,
well, that's the thing. It's like the weird stuff is why I don't think they tie themselves back to Baptists anymore. But just kind of like, you know, basically just trying to base everything off of what the Bible says, I guess. But like, I haven't gone in 2 years for a lot of different reasons. But I am working on getting over that. It just the social anxiety and stuff like that.
There's a lot of pressures around church as well. There's a lot of pressures of like, oh, you're an adult in church. You should be serving in these different ways. You should be involved in these different ways. You should be knowledgeable in these different ways and able. You should be helping other people. You should be teaching other people. And it's like, all right, I get. I feel like I'm like you're a used car salesman right now. You're trying to sell me as the product.
That's part of what I've been working through is just like not worrying about other people's expectations of me. I've been also reading this other book called can't remember, something about let people think poorly of you, basically, because it doesn't really affect you. You can't control other people. And realistically, like the thoughts that I'm like, these people definitely hate me. They're definitely thinking this, or they're definitely mad at me because they're thinking this. I'm just making that up in my head. And I do that all the time.
There was a good, just two things I was thinking about that. I was speaking to a friend recently because one of the characters I'm writing in a book is he's a Catholic priest, and so the friend has gone into the Catholic Church and he's loving it. And I was discussing with him because I want to write a really realistic Christian character. And I was like, I can't even think of a single good Christian character at all. So I was talking to him, trying to work it out, and we were chatting about another character who's like gone through all this type of stuff, and he made a really good point, which is like the big focus that Catholicism has on like the confessional and all that. But he kind of put it on in a different route for me, which is kind of similar to what you're talking about with your dad, which is this whole thing of carrying hate and carrying pain is bad for the bones. It's just this weighing down.
Zachary Levi talks a lot about like generational trauma. Like he believes that like you carry that trauma through your DNA. So it's like your parents were abused by their parents and they were probably abused by their parents, and like it all carries down basically through the DNA. I don't know if I believe that's true or not, but it would make sense. His mom was borderline personality disorder, and so was my dad. And my dad passed that down to my sister. So it's like I said, our experiences were very similar. Like he describes a lot of the crazy his mom did, and I see a lot of my dad in some of those stories that he tells in that book. My throat is getting sore, so sorry if my voice is scratchy, you guys. I've been talking a lot today. Yeah. Where's Rachel?
The other thing that I've been because I like running a business, you get a lot of anxiety about customers and about people you're working with. And last week was one of the worst weeks I've had running the business because I made a stupid stuff up that I had 3 things basically happening at the exact same time. And I knew I could move one, but I knew I was going to have to come out of it disappointing and upsetting someone and having to cancel on someone. And all these people had booked in advance, and one person was desperately needing me because if they didn't have me there, they had to cancel the entire thing. And I knew that was the person I was going to have to cancel with. And so I was just so anxious, and like all this negative self-thinking begins, like super
negative self-talk. Yeah,
like
I beat
all
myself
that starts
so
instantly.
Much.
Yeah, and so like all that stuff happens, and like I'm then fearful to like open up the text from them because they're wanting to know like if I've worked it out type of thing. But it's something that I read that I really... Oh, no, it was a Jordan Peterson thing that then recommended me another thing that I really like the term. And it's annoying because it's not the silver bullet that you're after. It's not the answer that makes you comfortable and makes it easy to do. But what the slogan was do it scared. Read the text scared. Be scared to do it, but do it. As you can't instantly be comfortable with it. And I'm just talking about myself, not talking for you. But for me, it's like there's never going to be that silver bullet that's going to make you not scared to upset these people, but do it scared.
Surprisingly enough, I feel like I've kind of, I don't know if I'd call it a silver bullet, but it has been working for me since I started reading this book. I talked about the Let Them book. I think it's called the Let Them Theory. I think it's a very popular book because it has a lot of reviews on Audible. But the lady who wrote it, like, she talks about, like, in that situation, let's say, you know, someone's angry at you, they send you this angry text because you disappointed them or whatever. The idea is basically just like, you say, okay, let them be mad at you. It don't let that affect you, basically. Let them be mad at you, and then you just do what you are capable of doing because you can't control the situation. And kind of once you've told yourself that, it, like, a lot of anxiety comes from, like, I think she said the amygdala in your brain is like the fight or flight part of your brain that triggers all the different stress responses or whatever. And kind of by just saying, let them be mad at me, I'm not going to let it affect me. Basically, that, I mean, I'm not really, I'm paraphrasing, but it kind of flips that switch back off where it's like, you can be calm about it. You don't have to be worried about it at that point. And that's what I went into today, going to church for the first time in 2 years, trying to put that into practice, and it worked. I was very comfortable the whole time.
That's awesome.
We talked about DNA a minute ago. I also did this thing. They give me this thing where they can give me, like, traits that I should have based on my DNA. Like, I mean, it's all theoretical. I don't think it's an exact science. They're guessing with some of it, but according to everything, yeah,
you think mayonnaise is spicy.
According to, yeah, exactly. Well, according to the DNA test, I should be an extrovert, like, and not just like an extrovert, like very extroverted, like at the far end of the spectrum. I've never been an extrovert. I feel like I used to be more extroverted.
I used to be too, yeah.
I've been so crippled by anxiety that I couldn't possibly be extroverted. But I feel like once I realized that, I was like, what's wrong with me? And then I started, like, reading these books. I kind of came to the conclusion, I don't like myself. How do I learn to love myself? Because you always hear about, like, self-love and how that's important or whatever. You can't have a real relationship unless you love yourself, blah, 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 blah. But I never fully, like, comprehended that. It's like, what the frick does that even mean, bro? Those are just words. But I don't know.
I think, just something on the let them point. Mm-hmm. Something I stand by has helped me a great deal with dealing with people and dealing with situations has always been... And I think it can work really well in tandem with that idea of let them be angry. But I think for me, it is really dependent, has always been dependent on this idea that if you operate entirely honestly and at the best of your ability, then you've done everything that you can. And if they're still mad or still unhappy or still not satisfied, that is no longer with you. Because that's the thing is, for me, the let them be mad would only work for me if I know that I've done everything that I can. If I know I've done a shitty job, right, and they're mad, I could never because I'm too empathetic. I would never be able to say, "Oh, you can just be mad." I would still.
That's kind of the part of it is like, it's a two-step thing. You can say let them be mad, but you also say let me do this. Like, let me apologize or tell them, like, try to do everything you can. Like with the person you had to cancel with, all you could do is say, well, we could reschedule for this or whatever. It's like, you do what you let them do what they're going to do. You do what you can do, basically.
Yeah. Like with that person, I apologized, and then I spent a day sending messages trying to find someone to replace me. And I wasn't able to find someone, but that was my way. That was the only way I could live with myself to have cancelled it, was to try and fix it. Even though it didn't work, that was my only way of being able to come out of that feeling all right.
It's really more of just like not letting the things that you cannot control drive your life, basically, like ruin everything, like stressing out about it.
Yeah, it absolutely can.
Like there was a situation where, I'll be vague here. I was in a group chat and someone just kind of left the group chat randomly, no explanation, and that really worried me. I was like, I hope nobody did anything to upset them. But it's like, realistically, there's nothing I can do about it. So it's like, okay, if that's what they need to do, let them do that. Don't worry about it. You do what you can do. And that's that, you know? Or like, part of my stress about going back to the church was I had an unhealthy crush on a girl that it didn't go super well, you know, and I was just afraid of running into them again and thinking, oh, they're going to think I'm a freak or whatever, because I was so interested in them and they were not interested in me at all. But it's like, that shouldn't affect me. I should still be able to, you know, go there and live my life and do what I need to do. And they were there. They were sitting 3 rows in front of me, but I never felt stressed about it because I went into it thinking these thoughts, and I was just surprisingly calm. Usually, even before, like when I would go, I was always stressed out going there. Just, I'm not very good in social situations, but today, even I was talking to people. I didn't feel worried. I was looking people. I have a problem with eye contact. I was looking people in the eye the best that I could with the way my eyes are, because they shake like they do. But I guess all that being said is just like, I'm working on myself. I'm going to be reading more books. I'm working through some stuff. Like I said, learning to love myself, learning not to let other people control my life with the stuff that they do. Not getting angry in traffic. That was one thing, is traffic was a nightmare, but I didn't let it stress me out. So if you guys are all interested, I read Radical Love by Zachary Levi and The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, I think. And I'm still working through that one, but they've been very helpful books. They've kind of transformed my perspective on life. Overnight even, and it's been working. It's practical. So if you struggle with anxiety, like I know so many people do in this world, those books have helped me out, at least. So
very good.
I just noticed I'm Goofy Goober, yeah, and you're Stinky. So
yeah, at the top it's Goofy and Stinky.
We should just call the show as that's what we should call the show from now on.
Welcome back to Goofy and Stinky. Today I'm Goofy and he's Stinky. Just swap back and forth. Anyway, well, we should probably wrap it up. But thank you everyone so much for listening and joining us on this week's episode of Bikini Bomb Inquirer. Check out the game. Check out the books. Buy my book.
I was about to say, I don't
Amazon?
have it. It's on my bookshelf. I don't have it to pull up and be like, buy the book.
Amazon.com, I Am Monster. New one's almost done. New one will be coming out by the end of the year as well. Woo!
It'll
800
probably
pages.
suck.
It's fucking huge. Exorbitant. What did you fucking say?
No, nothing. I didn't say anything. I just noticed
Right.
the Cynthia spiders on my screen.
Mine broke. Anyway, see you guys next week. Bye-bye.